Super excited today to talk about the customer journey. This is something in the beginning when I started our tour and attraction business, Mad Moose Rentals and Tours, 7 years ago, that I definitely overlooked. And now that we have it ramped up, I'm just constantly looking for new things to add to our customer journey. I just met with a tour and attraction company in Hawaii this morning to talk about some even more things to add to our customer journey. So just know that this is, in my opinion, never finished because it's always changing, right? Customers are always changing where they're finding you, what they're booking, and the systems they use to connect with businesses. So this is meant to be somewhat of a high level overview to give you ideas of what to implement in your customer journey. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Spencer Finch, partner in Rise. And like I said, started a tour and attraction company 7 years ago. I've scaled that now to where I'm in a founder role in the business. And our mission now is to help other tour and attraction companies do the same thing.
Yeah, and my name's Shelbee Hutchings. We're here in Southern Utah. So as Spencer mentioned, we operate Mad Moose Rentals and Tours. So we do ATV, UTV boat, jet ski, rentals and tours. And then about a year ago, we also started Rise. And our whole goal is to partner with other business owners in the tour and attraction space and help them work on their business and not so much in the everyday operations of the business. So super excited to be here and to meet you guys and to go over the customer journey.
Cool. So yeah, like Shelby said, our goal is to help you work on your business, get the processes in place that to allow you to really find the things to move the needle in your business to get more revenue, reduce expenses. So quick shameless plug for that. We partner with tour and attraction companies that do 500,000 or more a year, and then we help them scale to $3 to $5 million in annual revenue, just like us. Today, we're going over the customer journey, and we've pulled the steps of the customer journey out into dreaming, planning, booking, cancellation, experiencing, and sharing. So we're going to go over each of these steps. And like I said, we're going to be talking high level and give you guys some ideas and examples of what we've done that has worked well that you can implement in your business. Another quick shout out, we're doing our very first Rise retreat in Southern Utah. If you've never been to Southern Utah, it's a ton of fun. We're basically 30 minutes from Zion National Park and 2 hours north from Las Vegas. So if you want to come have an awesome in-person retreat, you can just scan this QR code and take a look at what we're doing. But we're planning a full, 3 full days of actual working on the business and implementing things. We've attended Spark, Arrival, a bunch of other conferences, and we really wanted to make one that was for tour and attraction operators and owners, and really share ideas that you can implement that increase the bottom line quite a bit. So we priced it to cover just the fun and the food, and then everything else is going to be just mutually beneficial. So awesome. Okay, so wanted to do a quick shout out to Tourpreneur. We're really excited to be one of their corporate partners and help tour operators within that network. Another quick shout out to Chris Torres. He definitely helped us along the way with the customer journey toolkit, whether he knew it or not. I was watching his videos and ordered his toolkit and constantly have that thing on my desk. Here's the cards for it, just because it gives us a lot of good ideas. So if you haven't gone to his website and watched his customer journey toolkit, we highly recommend it. It says that he's out of them, but I would order one because I think he has a few left in stock that he can ship out to you. So
Awesome. Sweet. So why should we have a dialed customer journey? This will allow you to be more proactive in your business rather than reactive. It also helps you increase revenue, provides consistency through automation, and then gives you and your team, as well as your customers, clarity on what the next steps are. And it also provides a quality experience for your guests, just because if everyone is on the same page, knows what to expect, it just provides a better experience overall.
awesome. I would also add to that, it adds up quick. Like if you look at your customer journey and implement 1 or 2 things, if you already have business coming in, we found examples with partners that we've already worked with that have increased, their monthly revenue by 20,000, 50,000 a month. So this isn't something to really take lightly. Like this will be a game changer in your business, like taking an extra look at the customer journey. Yeah, and Shelby, you can show them the tech stack that we use or that we have used so far.
Yeah, so this is our tech stack that has helped us automate our customer journey. So we use Fair Harbor for our booking software. Our CRM is Podium. We use Popple for like reviews. It's more of like a digital business card. So everyone on our team has one of those. It works really great for our tour guides. Linktree for our socials. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then Fleetio helps us manage our fleet. Our team can create issues, which will alert our shop and just overall keep, a healthy fleet. So
Yeah, so
those are the technology that we use.
yeah, if you're running equipment, highly recommend Fleetio. Like if you have pontoons and need to track maintenance schedules and registrations, all of that, they price it per vehicle, super affordable, and it's awesome. So each one of those softwares is definitely taking a look at and working with. Cool. So let's dive into the customer journey. So in the very beginning, I think this is a phase that not too many people really grasp the concept of, and it's the dreaming phase, right? And as Chris puts it in his cards, it's to inspire and excite your customers. So sometimes we take it for granted that people actually know about our business when the hard truth really is that nobody knows about your business. And in order to be able to like get them excited and inspired about your business, it really takes some work as far as creating content, right? This is a big shift that we're seeing from this year to next year is making like relevant and helpful content and posting it where people can find it is very, very valuable. I think the biggest lesson we learned here, and especially for me, was like this is free to do, right? Like creating a social account, creating blogs, creating itineraries, finding events, like with the help of AI and a few partners and really already seeing what's out there, you can make a ton of content, make it super relevant for who your customer is, and then just post that information where they can find it. Um, Something really important, I think, here too is knowing your customer. So really grasp an idea of like who that person is. My background is in marketing, right? Having graduated in marketing, I used to take that pretty lightly as well, as far as like who cares where the customer, who the customer really is, like anyone's my customer. But really find like those specific individuals, like what they search for and look for, and you can, provide a lot of free answers by working, on events, influencers, with partners. We have one event that we've done every year that brings in like $70,000 in 4 days because we found like a specific influencer that decided to hold an event. So really find a lot of relationships, and that's free as far as cost goes. Like make relationships with people in your area, and it goes a long ways. So to give you a couple examples of that on the dreaming phase, we do a lot of social media boosts because it gets a lot of views, and we might not see an insane amount of traction off of it, even though like based on our cost per click and how much we get for each booking that we get off of social, it does make sense. On the left here, you're gonna see a person that we had come and ride, and they wrote a blog about our tour and listed us as the place to book through, and used a promo code to get 10% off their booking. So I've said this before, but the biggest thing when working with influencers or partners or affiliates is you want to play like the long-term game. I think initially a lot of people hit you up for like a free ride or a tour, and you try and like post about it and actually get bookings off that one-time event that happens. The big difference I think that's worked well for us in the dreaming phase is having them make a piece of content that like never dies, which would be like a blog, adding it to their website, and really saying to them, we're going to pay you off of all the bookings you send us. So you could do a blog post every single year and have that be like a source of income for you, right? Influencer or blog writer. And we only have to do like the activity once, right? And they have content. The example on the right is the social media. Obviously, you don't have to spend, as much as $3 grand every month. And we run those depending on like the time of year for 15 days up to, 45 days. This one was a 40-day for $3 grand, but you can see like $250 goes a long way, right? You get a lot of impressions, 880 website visits at 29 cents cost per website visit is very, very affordable. Google AdWords is going to be more expensive than that, but social in most markets is a lot less expensive when it comes to cost per website visit. So it's a really good way to capture people in the dreaming phase. Like if you think of why you go to social media, usually it's to take a break and to kind of get into that dreaming phase. So make sure you have content on those platforms so that they can see you as a thing to do. Cool. We'll keep running through this. So planning phase. So in each of these steps, I kind of want you guys to just picture your customer. This is like in the planning phase, customers probably have made a mental decision to participate in your tour and activity. And now it's time to like actually inform them and persuade them to get them to the booking phase, right? So you want to help them decide like when are they going to travel, where are they going to go. You want it to seem online, right? Like if they are traveling to your area, that you are basically the activity to do in the area. So most of the times your competition is going to be other tours and attractions near you or free things to do. It's not necessarily going to be other, pontoon boat rental companies or other manatee tour rental companies. Like you're going to want to capture these customers before they even like see the other options. So something that we've done, especially in the planning phase, is we're all over Google attractions, right? When you search for things to do in Google, we've leveraged a lot of free content around attractions that already exist on Google Maps. We've listed, products as far as like other things they can do. We basically picture Mad Moose as like a resource, right? Of course, they're going to come and do an ATV tour or boat tour or rental. And that's kind of like the inherent given is how we treat it. But we're also going to be a resource to them as far as like now we can recommend a place to stay, other things to do, which is actually what I was talking about with the guy in Hawaii this morning is once they book with you, help them plan their trip. And there's a lot of added revenue in that, especially if you sign up for, the Fair Harbor Distribution Network. Before they even get to your activity, you can do a pre-arrival call or text and say, what other things do you want to do? Book one of these. And if you're in the FHDN, you get an added 15% of revenue for the same customer that you already spent money to win. So the big thing here is reviews, like aggregate those reviews, compile them into a big stack. We use Elf Site for this now. We just switched from another podcast where I learned about that. And then we also made an in-destination website. So a lot of companies are doing this now that I've noticed. They'll either have an other things to do page on their own website. So if they're not, I wouldn't say not while they're booking a pontoon boat or, a off-road rental, they're seeing that they can also use our website to book a hot air balloon ride or something else. So it just brings more revenue into the business and gives you credibility as like a resource for all things to do in your area. So we're actually building out Visit Zion. It's a complete destination website where we refer people to ourselves and other activities in the area. So you can come at them from like a direct angle and say you're booking with Mad Moose, or you can book with Visit Zion, right? Who still is Mad Moose, but perception wise is just a resource for them to book, activities in the area. So planning phase. Our favorite phase is booking, right? Like this is the time where the customer comes and actually books on your website, gives you a call, they're ready to spend money. And there's a lot of leverage here when it comes to how they perceive your business. So I think the big thing that people miss is really depending on how good you did the first two steps, this determines how much money they actually spend with you when they book. So if they don't get that buildup of value or perceived value or actual value, they're going to spend less or think that your actual price that's listed is too high. And you won't get as many bookings, right? So the best thing to do to increase your conversion rate is spend enough time on the dreaming and planning phase so that booking doesn't have any barriers to it, right? The price is what it is. I'm just here for the adventure, the experience, and I'm not as worried about like the specifics. So really, with that value in action statement on the booking phase, really think of what you can do to make sure they're in the right mindset when they book. So make it super easy too, right? We go over our booking flows quite a bit. If you use Fair Harbor, ask for the Tableau funnel reports, see what your conversions are, make changes, and then ask for it again. Every month we ask for that and look at the changes we've made to make sure that conversions are happening. So if you haven't seen a Tableau funnel report, be sure to request that from like your Fair Harbor rep, or same thing, I'm assuming with other booking agencies, take a look at that. So I'll type it in here because it is kind of weird. I don't even know if I'm spelling it right. I think that's how you spell Tableau, but there you go.
Another big thing too with booking is meeting your customers where they're at, right? So like on here, you'll see making sure that your availabilities are correct, that your resources are accurate. At least from my perspective, I've noticed that a lot more travelers are booking more last minute. I don't know if you guys are also kind of seeing that, whereas in the past, maybe they were booking 2-3 months in advance, but now some people are calling or walking in same day. Right. So just making sure that you have available time slots to excuse me, to align with what your customers are looking for. Because if you're only offering 1 or 2, time slots or tours or whatever, you very well could have missed that opportunity because now they're off doing something else, trying to stack as many activities as they can while they're in your area.
Yeah, exactly. I think the add-ons are really big. People will add on stuff that just makes sense. Like we upsell coolers, sandboards, just other little things that add up over time. Tubes, wakeboards. There's a lot of money in that. Merchandise, right? To Shelby's point, like the more availabilities you have and options, people are looking for flexibility, right? One of the big changes we made in our own business, Mad Moose, this year was allowing people to do self-returns, right? So instead of saying, we offer 3-hour tours and the last time you can go is at 6 o'clock because we close at 9, like we're like, go ahead and go and this maybe it's bad, like bad times. It'd be more like we close at 7, so they want to go at 4, but we let them go at 6 o'clock for 3 hours and then they just self-return the machine, right? So the more things that you can do and the better your processes are, it's going to allow more customers to book. And we've had an insane amount of bookings for especially our summer season on the self returns because they don't really want to go when it's like super hot in the middle of the day, right? And we also don't want to pay our staff to stay all night. So it allows them to still go on that ride and have it make sense for business expenses. So if you look at our booking flow, it's all built off of customer types. And you can also go to our website, just madnewsrentals.com, and click book now. But every single section here matches with the customer type that we've seen, right? There's the rental guy that really cares about the machine and the adrenaline, and that's why it's pictured like that. And that's why we say the best machines at the best price, because they either care about getting the best price or the best machine. Then we have like the private family that wants to go on a guided tour. So then we showcase the family on the guided tour and say a private luxury adventure for you and your family. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying like identify your customer types. There's going to be that guy that wants to just come rent the machine and he wants the machine showcased. He wants to know the horsepower, how fast it goes. And then there's the other guy that could care less about the machine, which is the mechanism. He wants to experience like the location, right? So you're going to feature probably more about the adventure and less about the actual equipment. So people buy for different reasons. And in your booking flow, make it possible for them to identify really quickly with who they are so they can go through and book. So that's why we highlight different blocks here. It's more so if I'm the guy that cares about the machines, I have a place to go and I can really easily see that, right? Adventure rentals, I'm going there. If I'm a family that wants a tour, I'm going right to the guided tour section. If I care more about the experience rather than the machine, I'm going to go to like self-guided adventures, right? Because I want to see where I can go explore. So highlight what they focus on and are looking for and making it easy for them to go down the path to book. On the right, you'll see our confirmation notes for all items. This is something that we developed kind of on our own. And now Fair Harbor is working on an actual new item structure that we're beta testing for them. But it includes a lot of this. This is what you'll see on OTAs and resellers, right? They actually have this structure, which is super helpful. The included, tell them what's included, tell them the next steps, tell them what they need to do upon arrival, tell them what's not included, tell them what to bring. Like really highlight those sections because it makes it really easy for them to go down that flow. Sure, I booked, but I need to do these next steps before arrival. And for arrival, here's what I need to do, right? It makes the journey super easy. And then it also gives you a lot of chances to upsell or have them complete certain steps. So it's very rare that people aren't filling out waivers beforehand or don't come prepared to ride at Mad Moose or don't arrive on time because we've just given them like super clear instructions. Cancellation. This was a fun one. Do you want to hit this one, Shelby?
Yeah, this is our least favorite part, right? So with cancellation, we want to make sure that we are reassuring and reaffirming. So thinking through like the what ifs. So try not to make this a barrier. Optimize your process for maximum flexibility for your guests. If it's not a big deal like to you, then it shouldn't be a big deal to them. So yeah, just overall looking at your cancellation policy. Obviously, with that, you're setting the expectation for them, but there also should be room to be flexible, whether that's, rebooking them and or giving them a gift card or whatever the case may be, but just making sure that we are reassuring and reaffirming.
The next thing here. There you go.
And then making sure that we're setting a competitive cancellation window. So as we know, like specific OTAs, it's now down in between like 24 hours they can cancel, right? Or up to 24 hours, or maybe even within 24 hours. So your guests may already be conditioned with that in mind. So the closer you can get to that 24 hours, the better. And then, as mentioned before, just set that policy, set that expectation, and then be flexible in your approach. You can rebook, do gift cards. We also implement TripSafe, which has helped a ton, and we'll go over that on the next slide and kind of show you those numbers. Curious to know, put in the chat if you have implemented TripSafe within your business.
Yeah, a big thing for us was like changing our mindset on this to match customer expectations. And cancellations have like literally just not been an issue anymore for Bad Moose, like for our tour and attraction company. We have one cancellation in July, like in our busiest month of the year. And a lot of it has to do with like the customer mindset. I think to Shelby's point, like the biggest thing here is that you don't want cancellation to be like something that turns people away from booking. So if it becomes a problem and people aren't booking because of that policy, I think you've seen this with big corporations because like even Uber, right? Like you don't even have to pay until like you actually get the ride, or TripAdvisor, other OTAs. Like you just book it and you can pay later. So people are used to that flexibility. We build the expectation around a 72-hour policy for Mad Moose, but then we allow them to do the TripSafe cancellation protection to kind of up that window. But you can kind of cover those numbers as well.
Yeah, so we ran a report year to date. I think it was on Monday that we ran these numbers. So we had 29 total canceled bookings from the beginning of the year up until now. And that would be a 0.5% overall cancellation rate. As you can see, 469 customers opted in to that TripSafe. So they're paying that 10% of the booking total to have that trip safe. And out of the 469 that bought the trip safe, only 7 of those canceled. So
Out of your
that's been
10.
super cool to
Yeah.
see. And then with the trip safe, let's say they do cancel, we keep that 10%, the trip safe fee, and then we refund the rest. So it's also a really great revenue source as well. And it's providing you with a peace of mind as well as the customer. So we've just seen it as an overall win-win for everyone involved. And then on the right, you can also create custom gift cards if you use Fair Harbor. I'm sure other booking softwares may do something similar as well. So you can have fun with that and make it, match your brand, match your colors when you are sending those to your customers.
Cool. All right, let's hit the experience side. This one, we've made a few big decisions in our tour and attraction business to make this happen for people. This is like the big fulfillment part of the business, right? Like we made all these promises, we got them to book at a high value, and we definitely want to succeed and perform and surprise when it comes to guests on experience. So this one's also, I think, is an opportunity for upsell, just because you can pay attention to how they've booked. If they book online, especially this year, people are more price sensitive. They're looking for discounts, and they might book like the 2-hour ride when you offer like an 8-hour ride, right? So if they book online for certain products, even upon arrival, like you want to train your staff to be able to upsell. Like, what can we do for them or give them or add to their experience to make it better? And usually that comes with selling them additional time or additional products, and they'll leave happier, right? The more value you can stack, the more value they get out of it, and the better chance for like an amazing experience that they won't forget. So what we did to help our business in this realm was we took pretty much all sales, inbound sales out of the actual location. So our staff wasn't distracted with taking calls while dealing with fulfillment. So we pulled everything out and made a sales center because they're super focused on outbound sales when nobody's calling, or if somebody's calling, they're focused on getting, the biggest bang for the buck on those phone calls. So it really allowed our staff that's on site to focus on pure fulfillment and upsells and reviews. Their whole strategy is fleet quality, like our fleet has to be the best and the experience has to be the best. So really exceed expectations, train your staff to like make their own decisions and provide an awesome experience. And that's something that we truly set into our staff is like when it comes to customer service, we're number one, right? Like those reviews live on forever. We handle all of the perceived job side of the experience. So like we're going to do the gassing, we're going to do the cleaning, and we can charge for those because it makes sense to pay for those, but it's a white glove service, right? They show up, we do everything, and they go. So look at the fulfillment side. You'll start to struggle with this if you focus only on sales and sell like a ton of items, and you'll see it reflected in your reviews. So if your reviews start to take a little bit of a dip, you get some 4 and 3 stars, really look back at the fulfillment because there's so much value in providing 5-star experiences when it comes to the sharing phase of the business. One thing we wanted to highlight here was just the Linktree software. When it comes to like the actual experience and automating and giving them a place to go to do everything, we found that it's best to give them like one place to return to. So when they're booking or when they're leaving a review, or let's say they're just looking for directions or need to do their waiver or watch the safety video, throughout the customer journey, we're texting in these reminders, and all of them point back to the same area or link on our link tree where everything's located. So if you were to scroll down on here, it would show like our waiver, our safety video, current discounts that we're running. So it just helps the customer know where to go if they need to get something done for on their end for your specific tour activity. So really leverage software to make that happen, and redirect your customers to a page that's easy to use, obviously on mobile, because when they're in destination, usually that's all they have. So, okay. sharing
Sweet.
that.
Yeah. So now we are to the sharing stage, which is the final stage. So your guests have had an amazing time. So now what? We want to make sure that we're encouraging them to share, whether that's on their social media, word of mouth with their friends and family, and to do so more than once. And so in the beginning, we mentioned like local affiliates. And so that's a great way to get more referrals, right? Fair Harbor has an awesome affiliate program within the Dash that makes it super easy to report and track everything. So be thinking of like who are your dream customers and what other businesses have those same customers, right? And or asking your customers what are they doing before and after they visit you. Those are great affiliates to sign up as well as influencers. If you have multiple offerings, make sure that you and your team are, trained to let your customers know about those things. Because at least for us, like we have a location on the lake and then a location like next to a golf course for the off-road. And oftentimes our customers, have no idea about one or the other if they were just walking in. That's how they found us.
Yeah.
Also making sure that, yeah, they're tagging, sharing, inviting, and that you are giving them recommendations for other things to do in the area, making sure that you're a resource for your customers, um, refer and repeat, engage and interact, and make sure that you have your automation set up. For us, it's been super important that we have, excuse me, a CRM software that is sending those reviews, sending those texts, which we'll get to in the next slide. For us, we also have them like join our herd. And so making it fun, making it so they want to come back. So as you can see, like thanks for visiting Mad Moose and Rentals and Tours. You are now a part of the herd. Feel free to share this referral code to friends and family for $25 off. So you can kind of make it fun, encourage them to share with other people. And then like promotions, we're currently doing a promotion for Labor Day. So being proactive, using your technology to automate things so you are getting more customers. And the cool thing too, I don't know if we mentioned before, but you can also do blackout dates typically within your booking software. So if there's, a weekend or maybe it's every single weekend you want to have specific availabilities for affiliates or for OTAs, you can also go in there and make those edits as well. Making sure you're tapping into like your repeat customers. If your customers are more local, maybe considering doing like a membership, a program, or like a customer loyalty program or a punch card, just getting creative with that. How could we get people to come back? And then also launching new products. And for us, some of our products are like the same thing. Like we have adventure rentals and self-guided adventures. And to us and to our internal staff, like those are one and the same, but to our customer, they're two different things, right? So don't stress about having to like recreate the wheel or, create all these new products. Simply by just tweaking them, it could seem like a whole new product to, those on the outside.
Yeah, a couple of things that Shelby hit on that I want to highlight was like the two big questions to train your staff to ask is like when they show up is like where did you come from before? And it's not so much like where did you find us because it's pretty obvious to find that information now in Google Analytics, right? So we've even just removed that question from our booking flow because it's just more for them to do. But like ask them like where they came from and where they're going. And we always ask for like places they stayed or where they ate because we'll go and get that information. And to Christina's question, we'll take that information. Let's say they stayed at Red Sands Resort or Red Rock Vacation Rentals or Desert Color. We'll go to those companies and say, hey, we just had a customer come and visit us and they were staying at your resort. So we'd like to set you up as an affiliate and get our information either in your vacation rentals or on your website or in your content that you put out. So that way they'll book with us and we pay you that, 5% or whatever commission on that traffic. And every time we approach those companies, especially when it's like, we just had this person visit us and they know who they are because they just stayed there, right? They're like, oh, let's get this set up, right? So it's super helpful to ask those questions because you'll find avenues where your customers are already staying because they stay in like similar places, right? So we built that affiliate list up to, yeah, like 156 affiliates, and our goal is to get to 1,000 because we want all those channels to highlight our experience, right? So a lot of these texts you can automate. And there's Podium, there's Thomas. A lot of people are even looking at Go High Level because you can set up a lot of automations. And the longer the journey, the better, right? To your point, Hunter, if like a lot of your customers are local and you want that repeat business, then you want them to feel like a part of the business, right? Like that's why we use the word the herd, because they're whether they like it or not, they're part of it. They came and experienced it with us, and they're part of the herd. So they're going to get promotions, texts. They're going to come back. You're going to get that repeat business. Our specific location here, 20% is repeat business and 80% is new. And we're really working on driving up that number, but 20% is a ton, right? And we definitely don't want to negate the repeat business. We've had customers that we sent automations to that live in different states, and we send them a promo for $100 off, and they're like, "Great, now I have another reason to come visit Utah again." Right? So, especially this year, a couple of tips that we would give is people are looking for discounts. They are looking for deals, and they have somewhat in their mind limited budgets, like they're keeping their money closer to their chest, right, as they say. So give them a reason to book. We send outbound texts right now that are doing really well, and a lot of them are, here's $50, like come join us on an adventure, right? Little texts that we send out through Podium, like I said, do really well. We sent one out just yesterday that's still performing. And then the last one we did 15 days ago, we sent out a text and got 48 bookings at an average rate of, I think it was 340 or something per booking. So yeah, that'll bring in business, but give them an excuse to spend their money right now, and they will. A lot of it's just doing those outbound proactive things to get business rather than just spending more money on ads to get more people to call you, right? There's only so much to spend on ads, and with them getting more expensive, you really want to build a base of sales and promotions. So definitely work on that. So to give you just the full pitch on Rise here, and then we have also a free thing to give you. We have 3 partnership levels that you can come and have us come be part of your business, and we can help build and scale the business. We have core partners that are doing, if you're doing 1.5 million or more in revenue, we'd love to bring you on as a core partner and meet with you bi-weekly. If you're doing over 500,000 in annual revenue, we'll meet with you once a month and change a lot of stuff in the business. And those are the prices per month to have us as partners. And then if you aren't quite at 500,000 in annual revenue yet, our goal is to help you get to that point. So we've launched a bunch of free resources for you. We do bi-weekly mastermind calls that you can join, and we actually give you just live updates of what we're doing. We have the accountability calls that we do every Tuesday early in the morning at 7, and then we do these free monthly webinars. So you can definitely join in and join the community of Rise. Our goal is to grow that community to be very resourceful and help everyone get to that 500,000 above mark. So then we can partner with them and help them scale even more. So 2 things for you guys. On the left, we have our customer journey template. We just wanted to give this to you guys. It's a Google Doc. It's kind of a base outline of our customer journey and gives you like the text and stuff that we send out on somewhat of a standard level. So that's just something we wanted to give you so that you could have something to start building your own customer journey and really focus on those phases, right? Dreaming all the way to sharing, because there's so much money in every phase. If you want to schedule a free boardroom meeting with us, you can do that as well. So if you scan the one on the right, we'll take some time and talk about specific questions with you, or answer any questions on implementation or what we're currently doing to get business. But yeah, we're super excited to be a resource. I think it's a ton of fun and we really enjoy it. We're lucky to have Mad Moose hitting all its goals this year and exceeding those goals. So a lot of those tools and tricks we want to help people implement as well. So with that, any questions that we can answer, and then we'll wrap this up. I guess I've seen some in the chat that we can go and dive into a little bit.
Yeah, Hunter had a question on the Tableau funnel. Is that funnel report only while they're in Fair Harbor, part of your website? We have Fair Harbor built. We have a Fair Harbor built website, so I think our funnel shows from the landing page through payment. So maybe just going over the Tableau funnel a little bit.
Yeah, the Tableau funnel is basically your booking flow. So it'll show you once they enter the booking flow, all the way to the end. So that's like the steps of your booking flow. And then, yeah, we use Google Analytics to track everything as far as acquisition up to that point. And then conversions, like you'll just implement Google Analytics into your Fair Harbor, you put in your Google Analytics ID, and it'll show you conversions. And if you get with your account rep, Fair Harbor launched not too long ago, extra steps that they're going to show on your Google Analytics now instead of just in the Tableau funnel report. So they launched like a couple steps within the funnel. So it can be, yeah, kind of confusing even for me, right? Like we're not experts at everything, but we've worked with companies or businesses that just implement it. The thing I like about the Tableau funnel is it shows you your drop off. So let's say maybe like we work a lot with companies on their booking flow because sometimes they just have so much stuff. Like it almost feels like a job going through their booking flow to get to book. When we make it super easy, we go in and it's like you've got them in the flow, just get them to buy, and we can figure out a lot of the other stuff later, right? Like we don't need a bunch of info from the customer, we just need their money, and then we'll talk to them again. Like it's not like they disappear after they buy something from you. So really focus on making the purchase as easy as possible. Like a rule in sales is like once they say yes, shut up, right? Like stop talking. So get them to buy, and then once they've bought with you, then we can start to work on that pre-arrival upsell, the information that they actually need to get. Of course, you want to qualify your customer, but yeah, you don't want any barriers. Like if they get to the cancellation and then they get scared and they don't buy from you just because of your cancellation, like that's pretty sad, right? So
Another question was how do we upsell our products on Fair Harbor without creating a landing page? What's your thought on the Fair Harbor abandoned cart feature? Do you think it's working for the tour companies well?
how do we upsell our products on Fair Harbor without creating any landing page? Yeah, maybe unmute. You could explain a little bit more on that question. But yeah, I saw the Fair Harbor abandoned cart feature. We haven't implemented that yet because in our tour and attraction business, the cart feature was one more step where like if they were checking out and they click what they want, it's one big page and the complete button. So we don't have a lot of times when they're like buying a $450 product and they want to add another $450 product. We kind of basically focused it on our items being on duration. So book a 4-hour rental and you can add as many machines as it takes to like accommodate your group. So I would focus on making sure that your booking flow is based on duration rather than like one physical product, because a lot of people want to book with multiple products for one duration. Like they know how long they have, so let them add as many products as possible. Like we have people that come for 4 hours, but they had a boat, they had 2 jet skis, they had everything for that duration that they're there. So focus a lot on your booking flow when it comes to that as duration. The upsell happens when you basically like Fair Harbor Distribution Network or other resellers. Viator even has like a resale thing. They'll pay you 8%. Fair Harbor pays you 15%. But basically, you can send out an automation that says, hey, you've booked an activity with us and you're going to be here in 15 days. Like you can send them an email that has all the FHDN links and say, book another activity. And so that's what we're looking at implementing into our customer journey right now, because we're a higher price point, right? Like we're 450. So I would love to send that email and have them spend another like $150 on another activity that I make 15% off of, right? So the more you automate the process and just have it happen to everyone, then you'll be able to milk more, I guess, out of each customer. And that might sound bad, right? Like trying to get more money out of every single customer. But at the same time, the more money they spend with you, that just means you gave them more value and made them happier, right? So you kind of have to switch the mindset of your staff. Like the longer they go, usually the customers are happier. If they book a guide, they're happier. You know, if they buy merch, they're happier for longer because they remember, like really make your customer journey for us, our motto is unforgettable adventures, right? So if we give them all this stuff and they take home a lot of stuff, they're gonna have a harder time forgetting their adventure, right? So it just matches the brand. So cool. FHDN tours, yeah, it's just the fun thing is like they don't have to be on FHDN. Fair Harbor's always like already done the work for you, so those are nice. But we resell, you can set up anyone in Fair Harbor as an affiliate and set up the account to where you take commission. So we resell, you know, hot air balloon tours. They weren't on FHDN, but we set them up direct. But then we finally convinced them to just get on FHDN. So even if they use a different booking software, you can set them up in your Fair Harbor as an affiliate, sell their stuff, and take a cut and pay them a cut. So we sell rappelling tours, and they fulfill the whole thing, but I take 15% of it because I booked it, right? So you can set up a lot of that within that. And if you want to kind of see how you can set up a call with us, and we'll show you how we set up a few of those. Cool. Yeah, always with a competitor, for sure. If you're out of capacity, but you still paid marketing dollars to get that customer to call you and you don't have capacity, you can put them on a wait list, you can book them on another day, you can give them a different product, but if all else fails, like sell your competitor's stuff. Yeah, and take a commission off of it. So definitely an advantage. And that's a big thing that I think is a good strategy because you want to be seen as the resource for your market, right? And if they come back, they're going to try you again because they're either going to book with you or know that you're going to find them an activity where they can have a good time anyways. So as long as you're seen as the resource, then you're going to continue to come back top of mind when they try and book again. Cool. Sweet. There you go.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, get it.
How seasonal is your market? Like, you mentioned ATV tours and boat rentals. Here in Charlotte, I mean, I only do boat rentals, but I mean, we're March to October at best.
Yeah.
Really it's April to September. And then our business completely shuts down. I thought about trying to pivot and find something to rent in the winter. But I mean, literally our company name is Lake Wiley Boat Rental, so it's hard to do a pivot from that. Did you start out with just ATVs and then slowly migrate into other things, or can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my story is I started with 6 paddleboards. We don't even rent paddleboards anymore, but because they don't do enough, right? But I did 6 paddleboards and completely shifted. We used to only do rentals. The company name was Mad Moose Rentals. And then we shifted our brand to Mad Moose so that we could do anything, right? So having a top layer brand, it could be to the destination. And for you, it could be, yeah, destination marketing website. Like if it's the specific lake that people come to and visit, you can make a whole landing page that has your product, and maybe in the off season you make money reselling other people's products. And once you find a product that resells really well, you're like, oh great, maybe I should start my own company doing this product, you know? So there is a lot of value in like reselling other people's stuff if you make like a destination website and get traffic to it. Of course, you want to like focus on dialing in your own product first and making sure that that business model is like profitable, sustainable, and works, and then branch out to other stuff. Like really focus on what you do and grow that. Because yeah, you can make money in the off season just sending it out to past customers and having a pre-book at a discounted rate, or say book now and save because we're raising rates. Like it just depends on your current capacity and how booked out you are. Yeah, but I would say for sure you can look at other activity types, but really dial in your own, make sure it's profitable, and then it's a lot easier to like find another lake and do pontoon boat rentals than to try and go do snowmobile stuff or something like that. You know what I mean? Like different markets can be super difficult to get into and have their own things. Maybe insurance is even harder in that space. So yeah, does that help answer your question somewhat? Miss anything?
Yeah, thank you. No, it was great.
Cool.
Well, and to go a little deeper on that, like even for us, like our slower season, if you will, is November through February.
Yeah.
And so during that time and like ramping up to that time, we're thinking like, what have we not yet considered that could be a game changer for the business, right? So just like thinking proactively, like what could people possibly want that maybe we don't necessarily want if we were to be the customers, but like just thinking through that. But we do like a clean and clear initiative too during that time and really look at all of our processes, procedures. We're looking at our employee handbook, at our org chart, and making sure that we're prepared for when we do ramp up, you know, come end of February, March. So
Cool.
a few more questions. What are your thoughts on multi-day tours, specifically in winter? How do you think we should keep our customers engaging with us so that they are keeping in touch with us and having less chance of cancellation?
Yeah. I would say like for us, like we have the herd, right? Join the herd, and we have what's called like the herd's newsletter. And it really only takes like once a month. You can do twice a month. But yeah, we basically send out a newsletter thing every month to current, past customers and affiliates just to keep them updated. Because there's quite a bit of news that you can come up with that's relevant to guests that you can send out and remind them of. Maybe last year we didn't offer boats and now we do. Or we didn't have this time slot, but now we do. Or we just launched a new tour. Or guess what? We're doing this price for 30 days. Like a lot of different things that you can announce to keep your customers engaged through the off season. And it's just reminding them that you're there and that you're making changes. People like active businesses that are like implementing new things, right? And don't stick to just doing the same things. So keep them involved in the process, I would say, as you build your business would help a ton. And then cancellations, I would just yeah, the bigger deal you make it, the bigger deal your customers will make it, right? Like if you have an easier policy, I would just say like ask yourself like, okay, if the industry standard is like 24 hours and we don't even technically offer that right off the bat, right? We have like the 72 hour, that we only have the 72 hours, so we can upsell the trip safe. But what would it take, right? Like I ask myself this a lot, like what would it take to get that cancellation process in effect? You'll probably find an answer, implement it, and then be able to match what the market has. And then it'll be a lot easier for you to list on OTAs and get a lot of other sales channels because you won't see that as a barrier of entry for your business, right? Like some people don't list on OTAs because they haven't built enough margin in their price for their fees. Their cancellation isn't ready yet. And that just speaks to like maybe you not being ready yet to list there. Obviously, like these businesses that are huge and have a lot of backing have done a lot of prep work in their process to make it worth offering all those specific deals. It's an online travel agency, so like Viator or Get Your Guide or like resellers of products. But yeah, like really look at the processes in your business and build that to match what the market wants, and then like you'll see a lot more bookings, right? Because there aren't any barriers. Cool. Any other referral strategies you use? So yeah, we send out that text. The longer you can make it, as far as like time frame, the better. So we send out a text, 15 days after, 60 days after, 120 days after they visited us. Like those are all automated through Podium. So like you can set up a lot of automations. Like we want to get to the point where we have 3 years of automations, right? But you slowly build. And referrals, it's just a matter of like, hey, share this. Here's a coupon code for your friends and family. A lot of the times, I've seen companies even like take the photo they took during their tour and send it to them again and say like, hey, remember this? Because the easiest referral is just to have them come again, right? But yeah, definitely be a resource, and then they'll come back to you every time for like information in the area. We help people plan their itineraries. Like call us, we'll for free, we'll help talk through your itinerary and what you're planning. And guess what? We'll probably recommend an ATV tour because it's like the thing to do here, right? Is what we'll tell them. So yeah, perfect.
Well, one last thing, I think for their
Yeah.
referral,
Talk about it.
the referral question is, I would ask, like, what would it take to set up an affiliate program? And it doesn't have to be like, this perfect big thing. But for us, like, that's done super, super well. Just whether it's like vacation rentals who are sending us business, or even like local YouTube channels, like just go out there and make the connections with people. And that's been probably one of our biggest things in regard to referrals outside of like customers referring to their friends and family, right? But chances are another business is already sending you customers. So why not go make a win-win solution with them? Say, hey, you're already sending me customers, let me pay you for those. It's all tracked and it's super, super easy. It's just getting the clarity on how that process works, which if you're interested in that, I'd be happy to hop on a call and show you our whole process. So
Sweet.
awesome. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you being here, and we hope to see you on the next webinar. And then, as mentioned on the previous slide, we also have like free accountability calls on Tuesday mornings, and then mastermind calls every other week. And then, yeah, these webinars to kind of help share how we've been able to build Mad Moose.
Cool. Well, thanks for the ideas and the bachelorette parties. Could always use more of those. Awesome. Okay, guys, any other questions? Feel free to reach out to us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible, or schedule a boardroom meeting, and we'd love to chat and get to know your business specifically and just help you on that journey, right? If you're getting to 500,000, we'll help you get there. And then once you're there, we would love to come in as a partner and help scale the business. So, okay, let's get at it. Have a lot of fun. Help other people have fun, and let's go. We'll see you later.
All right, see you guys. Take care.
Bye.